Hi guys! I promised to share my BRCA journey with you, so I wanted to provide you with some life updates. In this video, I'm going to tell you what has helped me get through this, what has sucked, and what I'm currently doing to prepare for my upcoming preventative double mastectomy. If you find this video to be helpful, please give this a like and subscribe. Also, please feel free to leave any comments if you have any questions or want to talk about anything. I'm here. Let's just get into it. Starting with things that have helped. Research and Facebook groups. Emphasis on Facebook groups. You can join Facebook groups that are dedicated to BRCA, to prophylactic double mastectomies. Oh gosh, that was hard to say. Breast reconstruction. I've never been in a Facebook group, but let me tell you, it is a game changer. There are people from all over the world. It really helps to make you feel less alone, and there's an abundance of information, and I've just really been absorbing it as much as I can. So the first thing that I've been tackling is preventative versus monitoring. A lot of times people think that monitoring is preventative, but in reality, you're kind of just waiting for cancer to appear. If you are recently just finding out that you have BRCA, they probably are gonna recommend you start with MRIs and mammograms every 6 months. And while this may seem like an appealing option, the goal of this is really to catch cancer early and be able to conquer it while it's in its beginning stages. The preventative measure is to get a preventative double mastectomy. Why I ultimately chose this is because I don't want to have cancer. I don't want to ever go through chemo. If you've watched anybody go through chemo radiation, it's awful. You're going to have to get a double mastectomy anyways. And when you don't have cancer, you actually have more options when it comes to reconstruction that you wouldn't if you had chemo. I completely understand that there is a chance that you just don't develop breast cancer, but to me, that percentage is way too low for me to risk it. So after deciding if you want to do preventative or monitoring, then you go into breast reconstruction. You could go flat, you can do a fat transfer, most commonly from your stomach, which is deep, or you can do implants. Beginning this journey, I knew for one thing, I didn't want to get implants. It's more likely that there are going to be complications when you do implants because it is a foreign object in your body. But unfortunately, that seems like that's going to be my option right now because I do want to have kids in the future. And my breast surgeon said there isn't that much research that shows women that have had breast reconstruction from their stomach and then got pregnant after, because it's more common that people get breast cancer after they're done having kids. This is completely my doctor's opinion, which I'm taking. But if you are wanting to get DIEP flap instead of implant and have kids after, they just recommend that you wait about a year to heal first. So when thinking of implant reconstruction, there are so many options: under the muscle, over the muscle, saline, silicone, direct to implant, or expanders. Personally, I believe I'm doing over the muscle. I think I'm doing like the gummy bear implants, and I'm going to do expanders. I definitely would have preferred to do direct to implant, but apparently that is better for people with small chests, and expanders have a lower infection rate. A lot of people have questions around recovery timing. Obviously, this is going to depend on your health, but what I'm seeing off of these Facebook groups is that the average is about 4 to 6 weeks. I'm also seeing that the first 2 weeks seem to be the hardest. People that do implants usually have a little bit shorter of a recovery over people that do fat transfers because you're only getting surgery on one part of your body and not your stomach as well. So it kind of makes sense. Vlogs have been super helpful for me. I love to watch how people are progressing and how they're feeling. It really helps me like mentally prepare and obviously figure out what I'm doing for work. I'm also going to document my journey. So if you've shared yours, thank you so much. It's not easy to show a difficult period of your life, but I really appreciate it and it helps so many people. I won't stress enough that your care team are not your friends, they are your care team. If you are getting a bad vibe or you're not really connecting with your surgeon, get another team. I'm normally somebody that kind of stays in my lane, and if it's not my field, I'm just going to respect that they're the expert. My aunt actually told me like, hey, make sure you find a team that you feel comfortable with and that you feel respect you as a person. You're going to be spending a lot of time with them. I'm happy that she told me that because my first experience was not a good one. I live in Chicago, so I went to Northwestern, which is like one of the best hospitals in the US, and the surgeon surgeon that I went to really lacked bedside manner. She was kind of pressuring me to wait to have kids first and then get the double mastectomy. I'm almost 30 and BRCA1 is generally more likely to come earlier. My mom got breast cancer at 35. So I'm definitely already in this risky time period. And I actually asked people in my Facebook group what they recommended. I'm 29, I wanna have kids, but I know I wanna get this surgery. What are your thoughts? And so many people said it's really difficult to lift kids and care for little kids when you're in recovery. I also heard some horror stories of people getting breast cancer while they were pregnant, obviously dealing with impossible decisions. So I brought this up with my surgeon who recommended that I have kids. And she said, yes, that's a risk factor. And I just find that so frustrating because why should I have to tell you the risk factors? I said, okay, so if I were to wait to have kids first, when do you recommend I get the surgery? She said, have as many kids as you can in the next 2 to 3 years. Let that sink in. 2 to 3 years, and then get the surgery. First off, you can't really control how fast you have kids. Second, literally how many kids can you have in 3 years? So then I have to actually make decisions on how many kids I want. I don't know, it was a whole thing. Anyways, I got a second opinion. I went to somebody else and it was night and day. Still within Northwestern, I saw a different breast surgeon and she was so great, guys. She was kind of talking to me with like a maternal instinct. She said, hey, I'm not telling you need to get it done today, but I think right now is a great time to get it done. I just really felt like cared for. So my advice is to really take your care team seriously. If you're not happy with somebody, get a second opinion. It's amazing to have supportive family and friends when you're going through all of this. I super appreciate my friends that have reached out to me and asked how I'm doing, asking how they can help. My sister has been amazing throughout this journey and kind of like reiterating why I'm doing this. She sent me a text at how lucky my kids will be that I made this decision to be preventative and that they're gonna have me in their life because our mom wasn't in our life. So let's transition into things that suck. Unsupportive family and friends suck. I've had so many people really question my decision and it's so frustrating not to get worked up because I feel like I'm a stable, level-headed person. It just feels so judgmental. I'm tired of explaining my decision. Who would willingly get a double mastectomy if it wasn't drastic and serious? The abundance of appointments suck. Not only am I at risk for breast cancer, but I'm at risk for melanoma, so I had to meet a dermatologist. I'm at risk for ovarian cancer, so I need to make appointments for that, which I haven't done yet. For the double mastectomy, you need to meet with a breast surgeon and a plastic surgeon if you're wanting reconstruction. In order to clear for surgery, I had to do an MRI and a mammogram. Also, I documented that, by the way, so it's in my shorts and TikTok if you want to check that out. With all these appointments comes medical costs. I live in the US where healthcare is not free, and I don't even know what my out-of-pocket costs are going to be. It's scary. Finally, what has sucked is coming to the realization that my body's going to change, that I'm going to be in a period where my body is disabled in a sense. I've always loved my breasts. So it's hard to come to terms like, am I going to feel like myself after this? Is it going to look normal or botched? And I've always been very independent, so it's hard for me to think about somebody like helping me go to the restroom or shower. If you're feeling like this, you're not alone. What I've done to help prepare for this double mastectomy, obviously I'm doing research and going to these appointments. I've definitely been working out more, which is really positive to come from all this. And I'm trying to eat healthier. I'm trying to avoid processed food and eat more organic. Being healthier not only helps your chances of getting breast cancer, it will also help with recovery so much. I installed a bidet. I actually am obsessed with my bidet. I can't believe I lived without one. I'll link it in my Amazon storefront. I'm hoping that I can be a little bit more independent when it comes to going to the restroom. We have also been wanting a new bed, so I treated this as my excuse to get a new bed. And this was definitely a potentially irresponsible splurge, but it's one of those beds that inclines so that when I'm in recovery, I can still lay in bed and be at an incline. There are wedge pillows that achieve this without having to get an expensive bed, but I just like wanted it. I'll keep you guys updated with the progress leading up to my surgery. I'm somebody that overly prepares, so I'm sure I'm going to buy like everything and more that I need. If you're going through this journey as well, I want to say I'm sorry. We will all get through this and we are so much more than this gene. Please leave me a comment if you want somebody to talk to or if you have any questions because I've done so much research. I feel like I know so much. I'll continue to keep you guys updated. And I appreciate you taking the time to actually watch this video all the way through. If you already have, thank you so much. Give this a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video.